Alright, all my little YouTube motherfuck faces. You're watching Validation Boy live stream, May 24th, 2023. It's been 2 calendar years since I've been able to actually live stream. Couple days ago, my day off, I was tossing about, fucking around in my Google settings. And I decided to go ahead and beg like a subservient little fucking bitch to the YouTube demigods, the faceless anonymous demons. Or so a lot of us have assumed. But this time, they came through in the clutch for me. It felt like I was actually talking to real people, even though it was all texts and emails. And it took about 2 or 3 hours of negotiating and texting back and forth, and I remained as professional and kind and gracious as I could, and so did they. And for some reason, I told them, for some reason I can't stream. I don't even know why or how this has happened. And so they inspected it, and they realized, yeah, there was literally no reason. Someone just decided to turn your capability of live streaming off one day. There was no reason. How fucking psychotic is that? How fucking sick is that? That someone just wielded their fucking hammer of injustice at Validation Boy's expense, and at the expense of all the viewers and participants of Validation Boy live stream for over 2 calendar fucking years. But I did it for you guys. I'm back. Now, I've been fucking around with this Idaho 4 case. That's what I've been talking about, Lily. There's not much else to talk about. We all know the Earth's flat. We all know NASA's a complete lie. We all know that most history is complete and utter bullshit. Okay. You can only beat those dead horses for so long. Of course, all those things are true. And some of us out here are still talking about them and doing a rather bang-up job. Way better than anything I could ever do. Daniel Pratt. Way better than anything I could ever do on those subjects and on other similar subjects. But I found myself compelled to take a look at this case when I first heard about it. I didn't first hear about it until a couple of weeks after it had actually happened. It sat there in the news for 2 weeks with nobody talking about it that much. And then all of a sudden things started developing. And to me it looked like, could this be another one of these auto hoaxes, could it be? And I was like, why would that be? I don't think that would be, because what it looked like a lot more to me was a screen plot. Did this not look like a screen plot to you? 4 young co-eds stabbed with a knife? In the wee hours of the fucking morning? That's not really something that you could want to say is a hoax. And my very first reaction to the whole thing, a video that I've deleted long ago, but my first reaction is that, oh, this is some non-binary blue hairs, psychotic bigots. And they're doing this as to send a message against what I assume was a small Christian town. Little did I know, it's actually a cesspool, a drug haven. And it's rotten. Schlominger. So nice you gotta say it twice. Has chimed in and says the whole story doesn't add up, including this Kohberger dude. I know. I'm not even gonna get into all the details. Because, at first there was no suspect. Then all of a sudden this suspect shows up. Took them 49 days to get this suspect. So that math doesn't even add up. And then when they start talking about sending off DNA samples and heading over to his parents' house to collect DNA samples from his parents to match up, and there's this massive discrepancies in the amount of time it would take to not only collect but transport and then test and then get positive results and then get those positive results affirmed and then get them sent back to wherever they need to be in a matter of like hours, when before something like that's supposed to take weeks. It's just all bullshit. It's all complete and utter bullshit. We get the suspect and he's completely ridiculous, all right? And then as soon as they could, because these were pretty young girls, allegedly, people out there cut straight to the incel narrative. Just straight to the incel narrative. And it's strange, like, BB, why do you empathize so much with incels if you're not an incel? Well, it's not that I empathize so much. It's just, I can only imagine what it's like, to be in a situation where you feel helpless. And then you have people that you just want to be friends with, and they're just piling on you and hating you. And you're helpless, and you're just like, oh, I just wanted to be friends. And they're like, we fucking hate you. And then they compound it culturally by creating this narrative of the myth of the incel. When there's literally billions of incels on Earth. Literally at least 2 or 3 billion people are incels. At least. Inescapably. So they're calling out incels. They got this image of Elliot Rodger in their mind. And this elaborate narrative that was painted for them as a consumer of the Elliot Rodger product. They have this image in their fucking mind, and they just think that anyone who fits certain characteristics must also potentially be an incel. And then in their mind, what an incel is a mass red rumming psychopath that sits there and makes all these angry videos about how much they, hate this person or hate that or this, okay? And a lot of these are women, and they're stubborn, and they're not willing to get it. They're not willing to look past that because it's a convenient thing for them to play the victim and to say, oh, there's these angry men out there that we won't give them the V, and they're mad about it. Look how awesome we are. Look how much power we have over these sad men. See, that's the thought process. I don't even know if it's conscious with these women, but that's their thought process. It's so demonic and hate-filled to think that way, but that's what's happening when someone's employing that incel narrative as a, what's that damn word? Not as an insult, but as a pejorative, when they're using incel as a pejorative. But anyways, we don't have to go on too much about that. Look at this. I'm in my third different, or is it fourth? No, it's my third live stream location. A Schlominger, a weirdo would have stabbed maybe one victim. Okay? He stalked. But why would you stab 3 others on 2 different floors? Exactly. There's way too many questions. None of it adds up. Okay. And here's another thing. Incels do their attacks where? In public. Isla Vista was a very public incident. Nice, France, the van, Toronto. Very, very public incidents. They weren't 4 a.m. in the back of but in the back of some back street of some hard to get to part of the suburbs at 4 a.m. That's quite the opposite of Nice, France and Isla Vista, California. Quite the opposite. So, we know why. We know why this incel narrative was used. It was vagina worship. it was all about, look at the Stacys. Look how bad they want the Stacys. Look how much control the Stacys have over them. And then by proxy, other women say, we're powerful because they see these women having that effect on men. The thing is, though, were these girls really Stacys? I might be the first person to actually say this during this entire thing. Were these girls truly Stacys? I'm not gonna be a dick, but I'm gonna say this is something that's open to debate, and it shouldn't be something that's harped on, but I do think that it's relevant. If these are not quite Stacys, truly, when you really take a close look and you really get as much information as you can about these individuals and their lifestyles and other things, which they've put on Instagram themselves and everything, maybe it's not too wise to just automatically call them full-on Stacys. There's other aspects at play here. So, and especially when you start thinking about drinking and partying and the sloppiness and the continuous police calls to the house continuously. Yeah. Now, the story has had fake development after fake development. And it's the kind of situation where the fact that the shit's coming out on a daily basis, it's so dramatic. It just looks like a really well executed business model. That's what it looks like. Like they're all in cahoots this time. They're like, this time we're going to make it a big one. We got to do it big like the Casey Anthony case or the Trayvon Martin case. Or the whatever. And it's almost like it's been calculated. There's been this slow drip. And it's like, and then 95% of the information that has slowly dripped out has been confirmed, absolutely 100% confirmed fake news or complete speculation. 97% of what has come out in this case has been complete speculation and or fabricated confirmed fake news. And when you take that to its logical conclusion, which, I love to do that. Let's take it to its logical conclusion. It makes you want to think that this is some form of crisis or AI situation without fully completing the terminology there. Good afternoon, Paul Revere, 1776. Okay. First 5 in the live. It's been 2 years. You guys think I forget? My little YouTube motherfuck faces? You think I forgot? In at number 1, OJ McBaggins. In at number 2, so nice. In at number 2, so nice you gotta say it twice. Schlumminger. In at number 3, a legend and a fucking icon and a truly kind-hearted, kind-spirited man who I've talked to offline, truly a badass dude in the house, F, also known as Face. Oh shit. In at number 4, a long-time participant and also a legend, Dagon Morningstar. Wow. I thought you might not be around 2 years later or, on the channel, or at least paying attention to the channel. But here you are. Awesome. And in at number 5, last but definitely not least, Paul Revere, 1776. Those are the first 5 in the live. All right. Wow. I missed it too, guys. I missed all the fuckery and the fun, the fuckadry. All the fuckadry. I missed it all. All right. Daily narrative shifts, okay? It's a fucking business, a well-executed business plan. There's been hit pieces nonstop by News Nation, and then there was a big, huge hit piece that just came out on Dateline. And the government pays for this school. The government of Idaho, state of Idaho, pays for Idaho University to exist, or whatever the fuck, or the local government, whatever it is. They have a vested interest in their community. Okay, the school is their community. It is their income. It is their livelihood. All these people that live there are parasiting off that school, so they need the school to keep its attendance up. And having a mass red rumming fucking psychopath who's taking out 4 people at a time, it's not good business. And hence the fucking corruption ensues, obviously. Quite fucking stupidly fucking obviously. Okay? And then makes you want to ask if the college or the state paid News Nation and paid Dateline to run these fucking bullshit hit pieces, making wild claims that in no way could ever be confirmed or denied. Could never be. Okay? We had a grand jury in Idaho, a cheat code to bypass. And they got, like J.B. Gunner said, a whole bunch of local yokels to convene and agree that this guy needs to be relieved of his liberty of having a preliminary hearing. If any of this is even fucking real. Because there's so much fuckery, and it's such a slow drip, and it's so controlled, and it's so contrived that even if this is real, then all of the shit surrounding it, especially all the shit coming out of Ashley Banfield's fucking adrenochrome guzzling fucking shithole, is definitely, I guess this applies fairly. Some of the things that have been confirmed fake news, that's been hoaxes. So it's confirmed hoax shit. But see, the shit might have really happened, so it's not a hoax. But so much shit has been piled on by psychopaths with female supremacist agendas that you can't really take much of it seriously anymore. And on top of that, then you got all of the, as J.B. Gunner would say, authoritarian fucking bootlickers, mostly female true crime channels, mostly, but a lot of guys who are also female-minded or are little cuckolds that think that they're going to white knight for women and think that they're going to get the validation from those women. Those women don't respect you. This is traditional knowledge that everyone should have at this point. A lot of people do already have this knowledge, but this is just everyday knowledge that a lot of you people should be having at this point. So it's this really disgusting fucking echo chamber of women hyping each other up, telling each other how fucking pretty and special they are, and how brave they are, and how much of victims they are, and how much their gender is a victim. And look at what this evil, white man did to this girl, and look at what this evil man did to this girl. Look what this evil fucking man did to these girls and these kids and these people. Let's see what you're gonna say. Schlominger, clap, top 5, and Twit ain't even in here. No way Twit's in here. There's no way Twit's in here. Hold on. Don't fuck around. Nah, I knew you were lying. Twit's not in here. Stuart. Glad to have you, Stuart. All right, let's see. Paul Revere doesn't care about it. I know. And someone else said at one point, who cares? It's like, well, the whole thing is that if they can do this to this guy, then they can do it to you. That's the whole thing. And I've been preaching that message for a long time now. And couple of guys fucking have picked up on the message, and I feel like I've helped shift their direction. Maybe they would have ended up in this place on their own, Maybe they would have, but I don't know. I feel like for some reason, somehow, Validation Boy had a big impact on the true crime scene. And I really feel like I somehow affected the way a lot of things went. And I feel like I might, I know this sounds insane and narcissistic and everything, but me and the things that I said when I said them and how I shared them and tagged like 30 of the top true crime channels in all of those videos. I was tagging their names in all of them. And they all watched my shit. And I started hearing my words and my ideas starting to come out in a lot of their videos. Evil Exists, Jewels of All Trades, Jonathan Lee Riches, all of these people, Fat and Opinionated, Cinema Shogun. Had a lot of effect. And I made a video calling out harsh reality. And it seemed aggressive, but it was a mixture of love and, hey, bro, come on now, And it was like, hey, I see you are watching my stuff. I hear my stuff, bro. Please just give me a shout. And then he wrote an angry message back that was huge. I read through it carefully, paid attention to everything he said, and decided, I'm going to take this video down. It was silly. And then a week or two later, he gave me a shout out. So, and then that gave me a little spike, got me a couple new subscribers, a couple new viewers maybe. So, I really appreciate him doing that, He didn't have to do that. A lot of people that might come in definitely don't know about them beasts of the field, do they, Face? They don't know about them beasts. So they did the grand jury in Idaho. Now they got a brand new grand jury of his parents for some other suspicious case in Pennsylvania. But it's obvious bullshit, and they're just doing it just so they can compound and make suggestions. Oh yeah, in court. Oh yeah, hey jury, by the way, his parents were over there forced to testify in another grand jury indictment over our suspect here, Mr. Kohberger. He might have killed another woman in Pennsylvania. And then, but then other sources are already saying that, yeah, it's already been completely nullified and he has a rock solid alibi. So this is just 100% smoke screen bullshit. The state of Pennsylvania just trying to get their little 5 minutes of fame too. And help Idaho, this town of Idaho, get their patsy executed. Because they need to get their patsy executed so that they can resume business. Because the real culprit is still at large. I believe the real culprit might even be a cop. I believe the real culprit might be someone who is related to the police. Face says, bro, true crime YouTube channels do 2-hour vids on Adam, yeah, Handy. The shook old Handy. Yeah, I know. I know, man. There's this one, 10 to Life. Man, after somebody interjected the incel narrative into this fucking case, like 2 months into it, she went balls deep and was like, oh, I'm going to fucking talk about Elliot Rodger. And she made a fucking 3-hour fucking Elliot Rodger video. And it was just like, oh my God, all the energy and time that you just wasted on a straight up you know what and shit. Of course though, normie NPC, they know no better. They would never know. But it's just the fact that she was so gung-ho on it. The true colors of the women really started to shine. And that's when I was like, I can't take it. And I started making videos on this, talking about this whole incel thing and the fucking... Because it doesn't even make sense. Incels do their shit in public places. They don't do it at 4 a.m. in a quiet, dark, suburban Scream Part 7 set. You know what I'm saying? That's not how they do it. And that might be why I was compelled into this, because it was like Scream 5 was a big success. I'm a huge fan of slasher films. It's a lot of fun. Scream 5 was a huge success. Right before Scream 6 comes out, this whole shit goes down. While everyone's just waiting for Scream 6 to come out. This shit goes down. It was like, whoa, Are you serious? This can't be real. Look into it, then you see the girls and shit. It was just well planned, man. It almost felt AI. It almost felt AI. And here's another funny thing. I remember hearing at some point during all this shit, I remember hearing someone say something about how BK and his teacher would set up a house that they had on campus, or like a fake dummy house, a shed, as a simulation. And I'm thinking, have they just graduated their simulation out onto the World Wide Web and put it into the news? And all of it's just a whodunit simulation for students to pass a course? And I thought, no, that's way too big and it doesn't even make sense. But hey, you got to think creatively when you want to get to the bottom of shit for real. Lucifer. I know how to get incels pussy using magic. Magic. Yeah. Schlominger says, ask. No, can't say that name, right? Lucifer says, I don't give a fuck this Idaho shit. I don't give a fuck this Idaho shit. I don't give a fuck this Idaho shit. I think you're related to Maynard from Tool. Hold on. Yoga Magus. I dismiss the incel narrative immediately because it doesn't match the profile. Yeah. Schlominger, Butt Light, the queen of beers. Yeah. But so anyways, back to this bullshit. All right. I took notes, So this is, in my opinion, this might be one of the most obvious frame jobs, like most blatantly, stupidly obvious frame jobs. They wanted to destroy the house. I mean, come on, man. It's clown show. This fucking cop, this fucking Chief Fry is a fucking clown ass. You're a clown ass, Chief Fry. As far as your public fucking image goes, as far as this case goes, you've made yourself into a complete clown ass. And okay. Only authoritarian bootlickers, thank you, JB Gunner, think he's guilty. Okay. And I gotta thank JB Gunner for reminding me of that phrase. Fucking bootlickers. Fucking bootlickers, man. It's the best. Authoritarian bootlicker. Cuckolds. You could even throw that in there too if you wanted to, if you want to go old school. Self-hating white cucks is another one. Yoga Magus. I also don't buy the serial killer narrative because it doesn't match the profile. Serial killer don't walk into houses in the middle of the night with a bunch of cars parked out front with no idea who is inside. Yeah, that idea, what you just said, has been introduced into the conversation a long time ago. I'm not, and I praise you for having that, but that's, once again, it's so logical and so true, such a truth bomb that you're dropping, that it was introduced way back. It might have even been by you. Might have even been by you as far as my channel. But yeah, this right here has been introduced into the concepts a long fucking time ago as one of the many, 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 many obviously, stupidly obviously fucking things that don't fit. And that's why it's fun, because I don't even know how seriously I should take any of this. I mean, it is about setting precedents and his constitutional rights being violated, and this becoming like, he's basically become Winston Smith. He's been taken in the back room and put the cage on his fucking face, right? And but then at the same time, it's like Scream Part 7. You got all the clown fuckery with the drugs and the kids and the partying and shit. The cops are all corrupt as fuck. The cops are fucking corrupt as shit. It's a dirty ass little fucking nasty white trash fucking shithole backwater town. Fucking meth heads and nasty fucking trash everywhere and shit. Mixing in with the college students and shit. All the grimy, slimy, grimy ass nastiness and shit that's going on there, bro. Right? So it's a lot of fucking fun, bro. It's a lot of fun. We still don't know how they were killed or with what weapon, if it was one. Yeah, the official narrative is that it's one knife. But didn't they say 2 knives? 2 separate knives? I don't even fucking know. Drug warehouse. Lawson Casa? Am I saying that right? Lawson Casa? I mean, if you wanted to go full on auto hoax, what you would say, I'm not advocating for this, by the way, but if that was what you were going to do, you would say, oh yeah, these are all like actors and this is all just AI. Like the house doesn't even actually exist and all this stuff. Or maybe it does, but all this other stuff is just AI. Like these people are just not even people that have ever really existed. They're just made by a bot. Because they can they generate fake faces. And they can even do videos of completely fake faces. So, I don't know. And if you're wondering, yes, I'm wearing an Index shirt. All right? It was a birthday gift from my woman a couple years ago when the Index gimmick was still hot. And the Index storyline might have been one of the greatest in the last 5 years, in the last 10 years. But anyways. All right. Most obvious fucking frame job in the world. You're all a whole bunch of fucking lame ass authoritarian fucking bootlickers. Yeah, so JB Gunner is good shit. Harsh Reality is good shit. Subconscious Mouth is good shit. And sometimes Jewels of All Trades is good shit. Sometimes. Southern Logic, he was on the right course. He's a great dude. He's a very nice, kind, awesome dude. But as far as his last video or two, he's turned to the dark side. And now he's just assuming that BK is guilty. Because he saw some bullshit hit piece on Dateline NBC. And he believes whatever the latest bullshit is. I think what it might be with Southern Logic is that he is just getting exhausted with covering this case. He's probably over it. So maybe he's hoping it'll end easy for him as someone who's covering it. And it'll just be BK's guilty. Let's just get it over with. But I don't think it's going to be that. And then whoa, what are we talking about? AI generated true crime stories are real. Let that sink in. We know that she was, what are we talking about? We knew that JonBenét Ramsey might be the first. Oh, of an AI generated? We knew she was from a wealthy family, but never really knew what the dad's job was. AI programming. Learn to code, bro. Turns out he had the first GAN tech, GAN tech, used for generating fake people and had a government contract. Makes you wonder. Paul Revere. Yeah. Barry Mansfield. Great to see you too. Wow. Fuck, man. JonBenét, Katy Perry, AI. So, 10 to life. Misusing a very popular platform. Just misusing it. Not really doing research. Just someone with a feminist agenda. She's just a diehard feminist. She's a female supremacist. Grizzly True Crime. Same thing. Female supremacist. Not down with it. Waste of your time. Christina Randall. Inadvertent female supremacist. Truth and transparency. Apparently everyone says she's so great. I don't see it. Her production is so choppy and sparse and dark and sloppy and lazy as fuck that even though she was one of the first people that I found even slightly interesting talking about this case when I went looking for stuff on this case after I first heard about it, I still was annoyed as fuck and couldn't take it, and I had to say something. So yeah, I kind of been trolling her the whole time. Sometimes there's been a couple nice things I've said to her at some point, but I don't know. Some of these people out here are fucking clown asses, man. Right? Some of these people out here are like. In fact, I got a list. You made the list. You just made the list. 10 to life, Grizzly. Oh, evil exists. Yeah. Disappointment. And evil exists. Has a very distinct voice. And during one of the early press conferences, I think from 12/22 or 12/28 or 12/30, I think it might have been 12/30, December 30th, that is. There was someone in the audience, or there was people, the press was asking questions of the sheriff. And someone stood up and he's like, such and such, is there something else we should be worried about for the public, whatever? And it sounded a whole lot like evil exists. And I almost made a video on it. Should I make a video on who I think evil exists is? Because he says his name, he's a reporter. And he was at the scene. I think evil exists was at that press conference. But either way, evil exists. Subconscious Mouth, we got Chronicles of Bolivia. She don't even matter. You guys take this person, you guys take her as gospel or something. I don't even know why. That's just some regular old half-assed channel. It doesn't even make sense. No change, no more. Hi there, everyone. Haha, the man got a list. You know I do. You just made the list, okay? Bed crime stories. One of the absolute worst culprits as far as straight up anti-male hatred of the male gender, hate speech against men. Straight up hate speech against the male gender. She is an absolute bigot. She seems like she's extremely fucking bitter. Wow. Extremely bitter. Extremely angry. And extremely off base. And she already knows that the shit she puts out is bullshit. She already knows that these are all fake, stories that Ashley Banfield and her fucking group are putting out. Bed Crime Stories already knows that these are all fake, and she still pushes them forward. She still makes a video on every single thing she can. So I guess it's about money, but I guess some people are just that evil. They're willing to I'm going to exploit the dead and pretend that I care, and then I'm going to lie about the suspect who's being framed. And I know it's all bullshit, and I'm still going to do it, and hopefully I'm going to get some money out of it. Like, wow, Bed Crime Stories. That's brutal. That's nasty. That's disgusting. All right, and then you got True Crime Rocket Science. Essentially the same exact thing as Bed Crime Stories, but just a guy and British. Or Australian, New Zealand, wherever the fuck he's from. Jewels of All Trade. Michelle After Dark, same thing. Same thing. Just an older lady, set in her ways, stubborn as fuck, old school feminist, loves talking about true crime, and especially when the suspect is a white heterosexual male. Especially then, she get all jacked up for it. All fucking fired up for that. Because of bigotry and hatred and everything. And that's just how that's going to go. So that's Michelle After Dark, yeah. Fat and Opinionated, Cinema Shogun. He's scared to talk about shit. But I know he watches my shit. Shout out to Fat and Opinionated, also known as Cinema Shogun. His original channel is Cinema Shogun. But his other channel is called Fat and Opinionated. And I like that channel a little bit better. It's like more subjects that I'm maybe going to listen to. We got It's a Crime. It's a Crime. She's just basically a ripoff of Grizzly and 10 to Life. And she's got her numbers, they're growing, but she doesn't have quite the production level. You got Plunder. Also a straight up man-hating bigot. Maybe even racist. Not sure, can't say that. I don't want to call someone a racist, but I have my suspicions that she's a racist. But, yeah, her. And then we got Tyler Feller. Tyler Feller is like the cuck boy of the true crime scene. Tyler Feller. He's so fake, bro. He even claims to be a Christian, bro. You're an antichrist, Tyler Feller. You're a straight up antichrist, Tyler. And you know that you are. Well, you might not even know it, but you are. The things you talk about, the lies that you spread, you should be ashamed of it. It's disgusting, Tyler Feller. Okay. And Drunk Turkey Show. A bunch of fucking overweight former cops. I wonder why they got fired from being cops. And they sit around in their little YouTube studio, you know, with all the perfect lighting, and they got their fucking sunglasses on inside their fucking house. I wear my sunglasses at night, right? Like, what's up with Drunk Turkey Show sitting there in their fucking sunglasses? Come on, bro. Like, I understand if you're in a room and the sun is blasting you, like JB Gunner has the sun blasting him in the face, so yeah, I guess he could put sunglasses on because he wants to be able to see. But you're just in your studio at night with all the perfect lighting, and you get is it because they want to protect themselves because they're former cops? Conceal their identity? If you're a former cop, you shouldn't be scared of nothing. What are you scared of? You scared someone's gonna come attack you for covering fucking true crime, for fucking overweight soccer moms to sit here and fucking drink wine and fucking tickle themselves while they watch you and shit? You need protection from that, bro? It's because they're glowies, dog. You gotta wear sunglasses when you're glowing that hard? Face says, I've been getting insane amounts of true crime shit suggested to me by YouTube. It's almost my entire homepage. Program copycats much. You gotta wear the sunglasses. Well, did you look up a true crime case? You just gotta click on one and they'll switch genres on you. They'll be like, oh, you're a fucking true crime fan now. I've had to hit not interested on all kinds of shit, man. Fucking Jonathan Lee Riches, bro. I can't do it. I was going to do the impression. Someone even said I look like him. Someone somewhere even said that I was the guy who was dropping videos, Papa Rogers and all this shit. Yeah. I'm fucking Papa Rogers, bro. I'm Papa Rogers. Ara. Yeah. JLR is a turd. Yeah, I know. Jonathan Lee Riches. Brian Kohlberger. New information. Brian Kohlberger. New information. In the Idaho 4 case concerning Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gunt. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, bro. That was a shitty one. That wasn't even a good one. I've seen other people do way better ones. If I was going to do one, I'd straight up make a whole video with the hat and everything, bro. But no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Nothing too much against JLR other than that he's just straight up clickbait bullshit. And after a certain point, now he's adopted the mainstream narrative of, oh, BK must be guilty. He's just assuming that he is. And it's just like, if you're a man out here and you're out here saying that Brian Kohlberger did this, I don't know, man. You might have to relinquish your fucking man card, bro. If you don't see what's going on here, you might have to fucking hand over your fucking card, bro. Because this case is straight up about getting a patsy and framing them, and then there's a whole side agenda, and that's agreed upon is that, oh yeah, we're gonna slip the incel narrative in on this too. So we're gonna kill these two birds with this one stone. We're going to make, the best out of this. We're going to make lemonade out of fucking 2 lemons and shit, right? If there ever was a person who was obviously a high school dropout, it's JLR. Do you know the JLR story? Because someone actually made a video about him that goes in detail. JLR, I don't know if you know this, he was in college, or he has some kind of college degree in something, and he was embezzling millions and millions of dollars of stocks, and he served 10 years in prison for stock embezzlement. So that's why he doesn't even have to work now, because he's like set for life on whatever other shit he may or may not have fucking stolen in the stock market. So that's why he just like flies on a plane to Idaho, and then he flies to Hawaii, then he flies to Florida, then he flies to fucking Mexico, then he flies to fucking New York, then he flies to Vermont, then he flies to fucking Alaska, then he flies fucking back to Idaho, then he flies down to fucking Virginia, then he shows up in Georgia, now he's in Florida, but then he's over in Washington, but now he's in Arizona and shit. So, and he was in, yeah, so that's it. He embezzled fuckloads of millions of dollars and was spent 10 or 11 years in prison for it. And now he comes out and everything he said. Oh, and he also used to be famous for, before he went to prison, he was famous for being an auto hoaxer on Handy Shook and the 26.4 mile run that happens in the city of the Bosstones. You know what I'm saying? That whole marathon and all that stuff. And he was like a big hyper on that, but I guess he got in trouble for all that stuff. But he was making money then. He was scamming people then or something. And then he went on to do some shit with the stock market and got busted for that. Big Mac Miller Light has joined us. Can you believe it's been over 2 calendar years, Mr. Light? He fucking elbow coughed his way into the fucking room. Do your own research, okay? Just do your own research, guys. I don't want to show undies. All right, do your own fucking research. Finally, Mr. Edward. Finally, Edward. Crime Circus. Ooh, Crime Circus. I don't recommend. True Crime Time 007. He's also a mainstream narrative pusher. He's well-made stuff. I like his spirit. He's got a real dark conspiratorial feel about his stuff. It's just that he's straight up cucking for the mainstream narrative. And it's a massive disappointment. If only he could use his skills and talents for the fucking light side of the force. You know what I mean? And understand that, maybe this corrupt ass college town that really desperately needs a patsy and took 49 fucking days to pick this guy out of all the people in the world, maybe there's a chance that there's some corruption and this is a little bit questionable. Just maybe. And shit. You know? A whole town's entire fucking economy and retirement 401ks and all that fucking dumb shit. Yeah. Maybe there's a chance they might be a little bit desperate for a patsy. You fucktards. You fucking authoritarian bootlickers. Yeah. Everyone's algorithm is cucked, Pure Hype says. Pure Hype, I've been doing deep dives on the daily. Into what? What are you doing deep dives into? Tell me about it. It's been 2 calendar years. I thought to myself, when I come back, maybe it should be a big ordeal. But then I also thought to myself, how sweet would it be if one day people like Ed and Face and Schlumminger and OJ McBaggins and Paul Revere and all of you guys were just chilling, fucking around, tossing about on YouTube, just like VB does all fucking day long on my YouTube Premium. I have how many hundreds of millions of fucking watch hours or whatever. I looked it up the other day. How many millions of watch hours or whatever the fuck. I got hundreds of thousands. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you see something that you thought you'd never see again for the rest. You thought it was dead. You knew VB channel was still here, but you just thought, oh, VB will never live stream again. I guess he just doesn't want to anymore. Maybe he's just being lazy. No, I wasn't allowed to. And I had to fight and plea and beg, really. I really had to just beg like a little bitch. I had to delete one of my favorite videos. I had a copyright claim. And I had to delete one of my favorite videos, and it was called Confessions of a Globe Priest. And it was Sean Stawkins. And Sean Stawkins was just sitting there, just being the biggest, and somehow at the same time, tiniest little bitch. The biggest and the littlest little bitch. At the same time, talking about how no one gives him any attention in his scene and all his buddies, and they were doing all this stuff without him. And then I put Days of Our Lives soundtrack behind it. And it went unstruck for a year and a half. And then someday, Anal Nookie came along and fucking decided he had his little hate campaign. And he tried to mass flag all my shit. But I won in the end. I fucking won in the end. And some of you guys in here, others I have met, or at least face-to-face on camera, or at least talked to on camera, but a couple of you other guys that are in here right now. Yoga Magus. What sealed the deal for me that Kohberger didn't do it was when the prosecutor had a secret grand jury instead of doing the court date set for June. I didn't believe it before, but that sealed it. Exactly. That's one of many things. I've been following this bullshit since whenever I started following it very, very closely every single day. I spend at least 2 or 3 hours looking at or watching videos on. Maybe not always 2 or 3 hours, but anything that comes out on about 10 different channels, I watch everything that they put out on this. Anyways, back to what I was saying. A couple of you guys, I'll never know you. I'll never know you in person. I'll maybe never even speak to you voice to voice. But you're in here. You're in here, and I can't believe it. It's so awesome that you're loyal to me, and not as a fan, and not even necessarily as a friend, but as someone that you maybe possibly respect enough to want to hear what I have to say, and maybe even get a little bit hyped when you see that VB was going live. That's crazy to me. After all these years, started doing this in the middle of 2015. Over 8 years ago. In the last 2 years, I haven't been able to live stream. And I might keep talking about Bryan Kohberger in videos coming up, but at this point, we all know what's going on. It's the most obvious frame job in history. Not the most, but it's pretty up there. And we know it's about fakery and fuckery and lies and people cheating, prosecutors cheating. Big Mac Miller Lite. No homo, bro. I look forward to your lives, etc., VB, because I do respect you as a fellow man. Thanks, man. Bros can listen to grindcore and not be gay face. What the fuck? King TL is... Oh, man. Wow. Anyways. So, it's tough, though. Like I said when I left, I feel like I unveiled one of the great truths, if not the big one, back in the summer of 2021. And I found myself at a dead end. Like, wow, that might be the big one because it kind of answers almost everything. When you think about God and God creating a son And then God creating another son where he would spiritually enter the body of that in order to redeem the failures of his first son. And how big that is, and how that's the meaning of life. And then when you start thinking about problems and corruption and Big Brother and the New World Order and hoaxes and flags that are the opposite of true and all these things, the reasoning behind them, all of it comes down to Satan, another son of God that failed and was rejected by God, being angry about the sons of God and the blessing that it is to be of the lineage of God specifically. And how that's kind of the meaning to everything and all the conspiracies. They all come back to Satan trying to destroy the bloodline of God. That's what every single one of these conspiracy agendas come down to. If it has to do with Target and your children, if it has to do with Butt Light, if it has to do with Ukraine, wars in places and stuff, if it has to do with, you name it, all of it is Satan's attempt to destroy God's bloodline. So it's the big one. That's the big conspiracy. And it is contained within the Bible. In fact, it's even contained within the first part of the Bible. But it's tough to come up with stuff to talk about after that, because then I'm just nitpicking in the weeds. And there's tons of channels out there that already do that and have millions of subscribers. And I don't have the energy or the care to cover all of those things. So to admit something to myself, I'll say the Idaho 4 coverage I've been doing has been half about liberty and civil rights and precedents when it comes to the Constitution. And the other half has been a whole shitload of fun because it's like a real life Scream movie. And I love nothing more than a Scream movie to find whodunit. Finding the whodunit is the fun part of those movies. I don't care for the gore. In fact, I prefer that they be less gory than they have been recently. The real fun is the whodunit. And in this case, we got a real life whodunit. Because it's not Brian Koberger. Quite fucking obviously not that guy. So who is it? Was it a drug deal gone bad? I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. I could sit here and list things and possibilities, which I've already done in a lot of my videos. But Paul Revere 1776 knows what I'm talking about and says, "The rats and betrayers of God hate we, the sons and daughters of Adam." Frederick 1483, Christogenia.org. Christian identity, man. The sons of God, it's a one-way road. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to get into that stuff anymore. I'm willing to just never even talk about that stuff anymore. We know the real fucking truth. That's the big one, and everything boils down to that shit. So it's hard for me to find things, but yeah, so that's what I've been covering this case for, to repeat myself once again. So Big Mac says, "I just lifted 250 pounds 10 times in a row. I'm about to level up and unlock ultimate whiteness." So you're just getting all jacked up listening to me talk about this crap. We've got 20 viewers. I'm thinking about ending it on a high note. It's been over two calendar fucking years, guys. And I can live stream whatever the fuck I want. It used to be on Mondays. It might be on a different day of the week from now on. Who knows? But I think I'm going to be doing live streams again. But, no promises. But at least know that I can. And since you know that I can, And since I know that I can, then if anything important, anything big, anything awesome happens, you could probably count on me to maybe live stream about it. If not day of, maybe the day after. Serpent seed, says Yoga Magnus. Yeah. Do your research. Gully Squad. Do it more. Be good to get to chatting with good men. There's a lot of good men in this chat right now. In fact, everyone in here is pretty much the real deal. God's blessings to you guys. All praise Jesus Christ. Be strong in the battles. This is a truly blessed day. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to come back and live stream to you guys. This has been, well, we're going to let the fuckery commence. This has been Validation Boy live stream. May 24th, 2023.